want to talk about intercepts of a graph. So let's start by defining that term. An x-intercept of a graph is the point where the graph crosses or intercepts the x-axis. So if I were going to get a little sketch going of some graph, let's say this one, take a moment. How many x-intercepts does this graph possess? The x-intercepts are located along the horizontal axis, the x-axis, and I can see that this graph crosses the x-axis in two positions. And so I would say that this graph has two x-intercepts. Now I'd like you to ask yourself another question. Looking at both of these points, if you had to tell me something about one of their coordinates, either the x-coordinate or the y-coordinate, what characteristic do both of these points have in common when it comes to their coordinates? Now, because both of these points are located on the x-axis, that means that to reach those points, you're not able to go any units in the upward or downward direction, which means that any x-intercept must have a height or y-coordinate of 0. And so that's an alternate definition which is used pretty often when you're working with equations, to say that an x-intercept of a graph is a point where the y-coordinate, where the value of y is 0. So say that you were asked, for example, to find the x-intercept of y equals 3x plus 1, I would use the fact that this term means that y equals 0. Go into the equation, solve for x, subtract 1 both sides, divide 3 both sides, and I would reply that the x-intercept is the point where x is negative 1/3 and y is 0. Now, a common question that I get is, should I write my x-intercept as a number or as a point, like this one? And the truth is that in my class, I'm pretty flexible. You can choose whichever one appeals to you most. Be careful though, as you're working in the online homework or as you're working with more particular professors, be sensitive to the instructions. The instructions will tell you whether to format your answer as a point or as a single number. So just read the instructions. Okay, now y-intercept of a graph is just sort of the opposite of x-intercept. A y-intercept of a graph is a point where the graph crosses the y-axis. And at such a point, since you're horizontally located in the center of the graph, such a point would have an x-coordinate, an x value of 0. So just a heads up, it's very easy, I think, to mix up the terms x-intercept and x-coordinate. They do sound very similar, but these terms are extremely different. X-intercept refers to a particular point on a graph, whereas x-coordinate is describing the first number of any point, whether it be on the graph or anywhere else on the xy plane.